continuing our strategy guide on the world map, modern world map with Age of Conquest 4. And so far, my strategy so far that I've been deploying works. Although I've used multiple ones instead of this one singular one, as I've had to constantly change it out as enemy swap-up tactics as well. Try and get edge as well. And France asked me for an alliance. Receiver. I don't necessarily want to reject. Let's see. Okay. Let's view France. 23. For now, I guess it's good to have someone in Europe that's an ally. Because we have one. I think we had one. And yeah, we did. Okay, apparently. Yeah, we had one in Africa, but I think they got defeated. Okay, so let's see here. What do we want to do? That's France. So we're allies with them. We have... What's our stance with these guys? Peace treaty. I wonder why I offered them money. I wanna, like, you know, say that we're sort of encourage them to... Sort of encouraging that we want to be more than just at peace. Hopefully we can reach a better agreement towards getting a better sense of closer towards an alliance, I would say. Okay, so from the looks of it, the biggest presence is in pretty much Central Europe. Looks like to be France. We have some other nations here. Canada has some stuff in modern-day Spain. And everything does not look like the modern world because everyone grows and expands in different ways. But I predict some of these larger nations over here are pretty much surrounded on the other side. Like France, these like 5 territories that they own, if they want to expand from there, they're going to have to go to war with someone. Or hope that someone else goes to war and then they have to abandon the territory because they don't want to lose their men. Or something along those lines. These Shane Islands are probably not going to be attacked that much, as people would have to pay disembarkment fees, and really the only one who can afford it right now is obviously me, but right now I have no intentions of raiding Ireland at the moment. I mean, if I owned an island, well, I mean, I own Santa Cruz, but I mean, I could go much closer if I need to, but right now I'm already in conflict with someone, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. Although what I am going to do, buy 200 troops here, give 200 troops here, and wreck the naval fleet. Because I think that's the next course of action. I'm going to get a good foothold and a bigger foothold in Asia, in modern-day Russia, of course, as I proceed to take out, I think, North Korea as an enemy. Which I think I remember in the last video, or the video before this, they were the ones who declared war on me. So what my job is I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna move that there. And now we've unlocked another big city. Okay. Enemy support. Oh yeah, I'm allies with a lot of people. We've received your support. Sure, we'll accept. If you need more support, I'll offer. Because I'm the biggest nation, I can actually afford to do this. But I also have big enough that I know that people won't easily be able to betray me, like cancel diplomatic relations and then automatically next turn attack me, because regardless of who you are, even if you are my closest ally and been my ally from day one or turn one, any borders that I have with you will be armed. And it's not a bad way to go about things. I can tell you that from playing in a lot of online games. It was me and an ally. It came down to me and an ally once. And I'm like, well, you either accept my, you either vote in favor of my recognition, or I crush you. He says, I'll go down with honor. And I said, good luck on the battlefield. And trust me, people will betray you if they know it's gonna be before that situation occurs, when they know that situation is gonna happen, because they think that they can take you by surprise. And if you play strategy games or divulge too much into what other people are gonna do, or just irrelevant stuff that's gonna involve you, that's fine. Oh, I can attack from here. I did not know that. Okay, it didn't look like it. I thought I was gonna have to make a naval fleet, to be honest. Buy some here. Oh, wait. I should get 200 more. Send that there. Send this here. Naval fleet is gonna take on another naval fleet there. So what I'm gonna do is my objective here is to spread out and grab as much land as I can, while still maintaining as many minimal borders as possible. That way we don't have to defend everything. But, of course, the more I expand, the more borders I'm gonna have in them. And I have to do it in a way where, in the end, I'll have less borders, but each time I expand, I'm going to have more, but we want to try and keep the borders down to minimum. So I'm not going to raid here, because then I would have to defend this and this, but if I... because it sort of leaves, like, multiple borders open. That's not a good option for it, but you can expand in certain ways where you end up with 4 borders. They have to defend in one area, versus what could have been 2 or 3. And if you have 75 soldiers to split between 3 territories, that's about 25 each. But if you split it between 2, then each place is well armed, more than what it would be if it was just 25 each, and that actually gives you a better chance at defending areas. Okay, you want to keep that there. Because of the mountains, this is not a border, nor is this, but this territory will be, because I'm moving here, so I want to do this. But because this is a hot zone, I would say, or close to a border, not on a border, where there's active fighting. I mean, if we weren't enemies, I wouldn't have to defend this at all, because this would be our new border, and I wouldn't mind. But because of that, I'm leaving an additional 100 there in case they try to do anything sneaky or funny and counterattack where I'm going. I have not going to do that. I know this says that it's going to increase my happiness, and it's going to lower their happiness, so that's actually beneficial if I decline it. But if I view diplomacy, where are they? Trying to find... oh. I see their fleet here. Do I want to... I mean, they're at war with one of my allies already, so no. I'm not gonna do that. Because they're at war with this nation here. So you gotta pay attention. I'm divulging very deep thought into what I'm doing here, but those of you who don't know, if someone's at war with one of your allies and they ask you to be their ally, don't do it. That's just another way of saying... that's just another way of dragging you into things. Like, I'm your ally, help me, and then your other ally's like, help me defeat him. So then you have two allies that both want you to help kill each other. And it can get complicated if you have too many. Like, I literally had in the Rise of Rome campaign on the original Mediterranean map, I literally had Greece, Carthaginians, and Rome, and I was playing as Gauls, all ask me for help fighting each other. They're all at war with each other. So I learned not to do that. Okay, we're gonna send 200 there. Now, I'm sending 300 here and leaving 200 there. Now, the reason why I'm sending an additional 100 here, then leaving compared to any other place is because, one, they have troops there, but 200 is more than enough to take out their 22. But on top of that, they could buy more troops and put them there, and that'd be the better option because they're more likely to hold that city as it's defended. It has walls on it. Now, I'm gonna fortify some along the coastline. That way, if they push us back there, they won't be able to push us back into the sea as easily. Now, I didn't want to do this early on because the first time I came over here, it was just to show them I can get to your doorstep if I want to. And right now, I've been trying to encourage them to stop going to war with us, but no, they just want to keep fighting. And I wish it was easy as that, but now they're like, hey, don't fight our ally, and I'm like, well, he's the one who started it. Huh. Okay. So let's see. Well, technically he didn't necessarily start it. He started a fight with one of my allies, and I decided to join in. So technically he did. I just started a new front for his... I just added another front to his war. Is a much better, accurate description of what I did. Okay. And that is done. I think we've made all the best strategical moves that we can do. And we are slowly, one turn at a time, eliminating our enemy. I have a reason why I'm using more than about 200 troops there. That will come into play later. Maybe a turn or two from now. Capital, gonna send extra troops because if that's the last place that their capital, well, not their capital, but where their leader is, that's gonna be where they want to hold off, and I feel like they're gonna make a last stand and buy as many troops as possible there. This territory isn't as valuable to them out of the two that they have, because if they lose their leader, then they're going to lose this. So I could technically just attack this with more troops, and I'd instantly gain this. But just in case, by some miracle, they hold on to this, I want to reduce their power and the amount of money they'll get extra from taxes by doing that. You have eliminated North Koreans, 10% happiness, bonus, and I'm Grand Ruler now. And we got a tax. You're currently the most powerful nation. You can hold elections if you dare to do so. Right now there's too many, so I could gain too much, so I could lose a lot of happiness. And this is a point where I want to say, Grand Ruler, on a map this scale, you can have up to 111 players starting. As nations die out, of course, you lose less players in the match, having too many can be a problem because there are some, if people don't rule in favor of your things, they could lose happiness, or if it's recognition, then you lose happiness. And this is a way that people can see to permanently damage you, like lose 30 happiness. That brings you down to 60. Some of your territories are going to revolt at that point, and on top of that, you may not be able to be attacked for a while because that will, like, make you lose 20% happiness, and that's just not going to fly with anyone within your nation. So, I'm going to make a navy here. Now what we're going to do... What is this? Taiwan? No. Okay, they're fine for now. We're at war with, I think I joined in another ally and agreed to assist them there, so I'm going to... Okay, apparently I can buy 1,000 troops. So you want to know what I'm going to do? Everything but 400, and we're just going to leave that there. Now, I'm making key locations fortified. Not all of them necessarily will be along coastlines, because this is not necessarily, I would say, all this territory in Asia is sort of small, the amount that we have compared to others. This is my main colony here. This one's going to be protected. It's naturally protected by water from an economic standpoint, as you'd have to shell out a lot of money. Because if you want to send a fleet of 5,000 over here, you have to spend 5,000 coin to get that many troops, and then another 2,500 on top of that just to disembark it onto the water. So I think I'm actually quite good on that front there. And plus, because I have islands here, if someone tries to move traffic up through here, I know to fortify other coastlines or immediately disembark navies myself, which I can do at a moment's notice due to my large amount of wealth that my nation has, which is also another advantage that you can do. You can make large fleets at a moment's notice, provided that the territory you are buying the troops from has the population to afford that. Now, all throughout the game, if you play your cards right like I've been doing, you may not have to do this, but I still do it anyway just in case. Philly Festival will increase the overall population or increase the population growth for 20% for that turn, and population growth, but it does not affect happiness, I would assume, because it just says this. Now, if you have a big nation, you have a lot of money, you can do this. Population goes up 20, and that is good when you want to buy stuff. Now, you may not have to do it at all, but I'm doing it just in case. So I can have a little bit extra. That way I can afford armies that are over 1,000 troops per navy. Put it that way. Once I finish eliminating another nation as a request of help from my ally who requested that I join them, I will start to pick out another enemy that I should go after. Okay, let's see. Also like doing this because now in what would be modern day India, I would have a place to where I can see what's going on around me. Now my first option is I'm probably going to attack this province here. Because it has fortified walls, it's going to be harder, but they're probably not going to expect me to roll in with 1,000 troops. More than likely I can capture that, and even if I don't have enough money, the odd chance something happens and I don't have enough money to go after, or to pursue them by buying more troops, or even buy more troops to reinforce that area. If I lost more troops than possible, I can sort of rely on the fact that I have defenses there already that they didn't destroy in what would be known as Scorched Earth, which is something I sort of think that you should be able to do. Like, Which I think would be kind of cool. Like, if you think someone's gonna attack you, you could scorch earth something, but that really isn't gonna be useful to me in the slightest, because most of my territories don't have fortifications. So you see? 485. 1,373. And I can't attack that directly and take them by surprise, because this naval fleet's blocking the way. But they can already see me, so they already know I'm coming. So I'm just gonna storm in there and wreck their fleet. Because that's really the only thing that I think I can do now. What is this? Is that Sri Lanka? Sri Lanka. They have 14. They're within the area. Not necessarily enemies. See if they're willing to agree to a peace treaty. Let's see. I'm gonna move in here. Also, I want to encourage peace by also sending, some coin their way. You know. I prefer to call it economic assistance. I'm just gonna send 1,000 troops that way, and that's gonna be complete overkill for what I'm doing, but oh well. And now they just got wrecked. Okay. Received your support. Our opinion of you has drastically improved. What was it at before? I don't know, but it's positive now. Okay. So as you guys can see, I'm doing quite well on this front. Now we got going here into Asia and Southeast Asia-ish area. Now I need a new enemy to destroy. Mongolia has a negative 100% opinion of me. So what that tells me is that they hate my guts no matter what. I could offer them 1,000 coins and they probably turn it down. They only have 2 provinces. And they've been saying, don't fight our allies or else we'll join in. But they obviously do not have the manpower to do so. Which is sort of to be expected if they can't fight us. If they hadn't followed through with what they said that they were going to do. What that means is that I'm going to follow through with what they said they were going to do on them. Small nation, but they could grow bigger, and I just want to get them out of the way before they make a big... Whoa! Negative 44% happiness. What? I've never seen it go above 36. I don't know how that would do that, okay. How does this work? Send message. I guess I would have to do that. Okay. So I'm gonna, for now, redirect my forces towards a much easier target. Or something where I'm not gonna lose that much happiness. Let's see if I were to go there. Negative 44. Is it negative 44 for all of them? This one's negative 36. Do I really want to go there? I mean, I guess I get islands up here. I guess? I don't know. Let's look at a smaller nation. How do they figure out how much happiness I lose from that? You want to know what, though? The one thing that I'm not giving up on, though, is the fact that I'm going to declare war anyway. I just wanted to check, make sure that my happiness that I lost wasn't going to be that bad. And you want to know what? It still isn't that bad. And the reason for that is because I can do this. Distribute money. That raised my happiness by 10%. But I don't think any place wants to rebel. Which is kind of good. Move that there. Of course, this is no longer a border. So I can afford to move all of that there. Now, one of the positive things that I've noticed, or one of the things I've noticed since I started doing this, and I want to let it play out and make sure that it actually seems a bit accurate, is that it seems like the smaller army moves first because you have less command. It's much easier to move them because you have less commanders and whatnot, and less people giving out the commands. Like the general tells the people right under them, the colonels, and then the colonels tell the majors, and then the majors tell the captains, and then the lieutenants, and then the lieutenants tell their platoons where to move. And all that stuff, and that takes time to pass down the message through the chain of command. So I guess it's sort of represented in the retrospect that larger armies will move last. So the smaller armies, such as the ones from here, will attack me first, and then any extra troops that I have will still attack them with the same amount of numbers or as much as they can, if not all of them are quite available due to the counterattack. Okay. Oh, I also got this as a territory. Let's, put some troops there. So every turn that you have a low amount of happiness, I'm always gonna distribute money. That way I can quickly heal my happiness if I have to. Because that going down too low can be a bit of a problem that many of you have probably seen before. Now this territory is not is one that I own within my nation, but it's not a border. Now I'm going to move these here, where it will be more useful protecting our border. So now I want to see if anything has changed. 36. 36. Okay, it's gone down to 36. Okay, let's see, wanna do that? Okay. So, I've prepared what will be a base for where we're gonna make all of our naval units. And we're gonna attack a nation somewhere around here once we let a few turns play out and see if I can increase my happiness. And see what happens. Okay. Yeah, I sent them that money, hoping to, you know, convince them that we're not all that bad. But I attacked them before they even received it. So I don't know if I just lost money or what. But let's go here. 1,500. And I think our next plan of attack, I'm gonna have to do I'm gonna have to get multiple troops for this. Utility Festival. Plus 10. $900 troops there. Okay. So before we go anywhere else, what I want to do is get another turn of distributing money. Let's see. That's gonna bring me down to 64. If it goes below 65, then I don't want to do it. But definitely distributing money is going to be a problem because that's all of our money right there. Okay, next turn we have tax season, so that's actually going to be quite good. Now what I want to do is check any other zones. Well, this is our ally, and they've been fighting people, having wars of their own to fight. So I'm going to offer 500 gold to them. You know, keep them pumping, keeping them strong. I've actually just realized I agreed to an alliance with France, but they're at war with one of my other longer-lasting allies, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. So I'm just going to favor the one I've been allied with the longest and send them 900 gold. Gonna move that into position. I guess I'll move this one into position here. Let's see here. Gonna get 500 there. And we're all set. So we're at 98% happiness. That's gonna go down, but it's gonna go back up again. So our happiness is at 72, so that's kind of good. Okay. So I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna put 500 here. And then the next step, we go here. And we already have everything all planned out. Now, I can't necessarily attack this because we have naval fleets right on top of each other. But what I can do is put 300 per a island, or per an area of the islands up here, each. And now we can see if we take out their leader here and get the rest of this nation for ourselves. I'm gonna move that there, and I think we did well. Not bad for our episode. I think I'm gonna have to end off this episode here. We did accomplish quite a lot with this strategy guide. I've maneuvered, now it's sort of like I sort of started in North and South America and went from, and now I'm going from Europe and Africa in sort of Asian, sort of sandwiching people in until there's nothing left. That's making more fronts, but because of the way we had to help our allies, that's sort of what we had to do. So, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, take the time to leave any comments, questions, or feedback for me in the comment section down below. It would be highly appreciated. And I will see you guys later in another video. Bye-bye!